Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, it is so rocking to be back with you guys. You guys are the best. I gotta tell you, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's video. It was on Monday. We did horoscopes. And if you didn't see that, we did horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs. And so everybody watches that video. If you go there, you will get a reading for your horoscope sign for this week. It is so good to be with you guys. Well, I tell you, I don't know about where you are, but Washington, D.C. is roasting. Yesterday it was almost about 90, and it's close to 90 today. I am roasting. I went out earlier to the mall, and I had to have some work done on a watch. By the way, how you like my new watch? Isn't that cool? I got an Invictus watch. And I just had to have a link taken out of it because it's a little big. But I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys can see it. Let's see here. Isn't that cool? It's like a diver watch. Anyways, I'm enjoying my new watch and having a lot of fun. But I tell you about roasted out there. Anyways, here we are. It's Tuesday, and that means time for messages from the spirit world. I'm so glad you guys are here. You know, as I've been saying earlier this week, we've been having a lot of new subscribers here at Spirit Channel, and I want to welcome all the newbies and say thank you. Thanks for being part of our channel. And, you know, you guys are the best. Now, a lot of you are still learning our routine here. And part of our routine is that every Tuesday, we do a video called Messages from the Spirit World. And this is where I grab a bunch of letters and I do little mini psychic readings. For those of you who may not know, I am a full-time professional psychic medium. And, you know, I do messages from the Spirit World for free. There's no charge for that. This is kind of my community service to the YouTube community. So if you want to get in on messages from the spirit world, there's no charge for that. Just write me your question in the comment box below, or if you want, you can write me my official email, which is readings@robert-hickman.com. I'll put the link in the info box below this video, so definitely go down there and check it out, okay? But you can send me your letters, your questions, and you know, I like to tell people, please bear with me. I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of requests a week for readings. I'm only one person, and I cannot sit and personally right now write and call everybody who wants to talk to me. If you have an issue that's really pressing, you might want to consider investing in a private reading, and I do charge for my private readings. But private readings, the difference between this and messages is that private reading is a full hour, one-on-one, you and me. We're going to sit down, we're going to open the channel, and we'll see what the spirit people have for you. So I cover a lot in a private reading. We cover past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from your guides, messages from deceased family, friends, and loved ones. We look at your past lives. We look at your life themes. You know, and I also answer all your questions. So I cover a lot of stuff in the reading. And I tell you, you know, a lot of you have been here, have had private readings, and a lot of you enjoyed it. So if you haven't, you know, had a chance to do that, you might want to explore having a private reading, okay? So definitely go to my website, give me a call. We'll get you on the schedule. I was just told this morning I've been having some problems with my phone, so if you try to call me, you can't get through, send me an email. I'll get it either way, okay? And again, my email link will be below. Well, guys, I'm so glad you're here, and we're going to get into all the letters today. But before we do that, let's just take a moment and attune to the spirit world. Okay, I hear my spirit guide Fletcher back here. He says hello to all of you. All right, our first letter today is from John Cohen. Hello, John. And John writes, he says, "Hi, Psychic Bob. Love all your work." Thanks, John. That's really nice. I appreciate you being here. And John writes, he says, "What is the significance of the number 1226? Or it's 1226, 1226. I see it somewhere every day of my life, usually on the clock or on a receipt. Coincidentally, it's the number also of the house that I grew up in, and it breaks down to the number 2, which is my life path number. Is someone somewhere trying to tell me something?" Hey, John, that's a great question. You know, I do find that the spirit people really do use signs like numbers to reach us. And in your case, I feel like this number 1226 it's an important thing. There are kind of two things that I pick up around this. One is it's interesting that your house number was that. And I think that's very significant because I do believe our house numbers many times hold a clue to kind of our mission and what we're supposed to do. And one of the things is, as a life path number 2 is kind of a sign that you are always going to be supported by the spirit world. As a child, I feel like around you, this number was very significant because it reminded you that you would always be supported by spirit. I have to tell you, when I step into your vibration, I get a lot of orange light, I get a lot of purple light. You're a very creative person, and I think that you're an old soul and you're way ahead of everybody. And I think for you, at times, you feel kind of maybe trapped in your mind or isolated from others. It's like you see the bigger picture, but people aren't seeing it. And I think for you that this number 1226, which does, by the way, break down to the number 2 in numerology. And the way you do that, for those of you who don't understand this, is you take the numbers, you add them together, and then you keep adding them until it breaks down to one digit. So you do 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 6. Okay, and so that would be 3, 5, that'd be 11, and then 11 is 1 plus 1 equals 2. And 2 is a powerful number because, again, it means partnership. I feel like for you, John, this is not necessarily directly about relationships in the sense of earthly romance. I do feel it is about partnership, though, with the spirit world. And so it's a sign to you that you are being called to work for the spirit world. The light around you, as I said, the purple light is very strong psychic connection. Orange is very artistic. And I do feel that energetically, you attune to higher frequencies. I think you're kind of advanced and way ahead of other people. So when you get into those times where you're feeling a little scared or a little lonely, that number 2 means call upon the spirit world. Connect up and they'll connect down. And you will find the help that you need to keep moving forward, okay? So I feel like you do have a number of spirit people around you. One of them that I pick up is an Atlantean guide. I feel that you had a past life in Atlantis, and there's an ascended master from Atlantis around you. I keep getting the name, it's almost like Astare around you, and I feel like he's a teacher, a master teacher. And so you might want to experiment, you know, exploring it about Atlantis, and, you know, I think you'll understand you have a connection there, and Astare is going to help you uncover that. And I think that you have an ability also to channel. And so this 2 number that comes around the 1226 is about you partnering with spirit to let them closer, okay? Anyways, hope that gives you some insight. But I think that's wonderful. You know, yes, always be open to the spirit people because they do want to talk to us and give us messages. And they certainly will use numbers. You know, I always see, you know, when I would try to communicate with spirit, a lot of times I would be driving down the road and a car would pull right in front of me, and on the license plate would be like a message or a number that was significant. So that's one way that they do it as well. So anyways, hope that helps. Good question. Thanks for writing. Blessings to you. Keep me posted, okay? All right. Our next letter is from Mary Perry. That's a cool name, Mary Perry. I like that. And Mary writes, it says, Bob, do you see me getting a house in Arizona or in Montana? Thanks, Mary. You know, Mary, I have to say, I don't see Montana. I do believe it's going to be Arizona for you. Fletcher says that in Arizona, he said you have a stronger earth connection. So I feel like there's some sort of like energy that you draw from literally like the soil in Arizona. I think there's a lot of crystalline substance in the land there, and I think that this is important for you because you definitely you know, you have what I kind of call Earth Mother energy. Now, not that Montana doesn't have wonderful Earth energy too, but right now it looks like for you Arizona is going to be where you're going to be, and I see a more prosperity and success around you. So I would encourage you to really keep a focus on Arizona, okay? Because what they're showing me is that over this next year here, there's expansion around you in the money area, but it looks like it's connected to being in Arizona, okay? Anyways, hope that helps. So Arizona is going to be, you know what, I don't think I've ever been to Arizona. Well, maybe Psychic Bob will come visit you. How'd you like that? All right, keep you posted. Thank you so much, darling. All right. All right, our next letter is from Marigold Tarot. I know Marigold Tarot. This is Tara. Hi, Tara. So good to see you, darling. And she writes, she says, hey, Bob, love your channel. I always look forward to you going to CVS. I'm in the UK now, and we don't have a CVS here, but we do have Boots. Laughing out loud. Boots Chemist. It's like CVS in Britain. For those of you British viewers, you probably know what I'm talking about. Boots. Yeah, it's pretty close to CVS. And she writes, my question is, do my spirit guides have any advice for my spiritual-based business and my life purpose? Thanks and blessings to you, Tara. Hello, hon. You know, it's interesting because when I step into your vibration, I'm getting literally like a whole group of people around you. You've got a lot of Native American spirits, and they're guiding you as well. And I keep hearing one of them speak to me. I believe this is an Indian chief. Is that who it is? Yeah. There's a Native American chief around you. His name is Chief Red Cloud. Very famous Indian guide. But he's working with you. And Red Cloud is saying that the spirit people want you to write. That's his words. He says, we have much to say, tell her to write. So I feel like in terms of your spiritual work, you're opening your channeling even more, and they're going to come written messages from the spirit people for you. I think this is very important right now. In terms of your business, you know, I feel like I want you just to keep doing what you're doing. I do feel you have a psychic life theme, and this is why you're going to succeed in your spiritual work. They show me that there seems to be expansion around you in the sense of internet expansion. I don't know if you've opened a new site or you're expanding a website, but I'm getting energy around keep expanding in a sense of online presence. And I do see you, you know, really having a good year. 2018 for you is going to be a stellar year. I'm getting more publicity around you as well, and I feel like you're going to be getting invited on like some talk shows, like radio shows, blog talk shows, things like that. So I would definitely be open to some media exposure and kind of putting yourself in front of the public eye. Chief Red Cloud is one of your principal spirit guides, and he says that they want to write through you. So you may be writing a book about messages from him, or it could just be information he's giving you that's spiritually based. I keep getting the word past lives around you here, so I don't know if you're exploring that now, but you might even do a book about writing about accessing knowledge about past lives. I see that being very strong around you also. So, you know, my advice to you is just keep doing what you're doing, keep expanding, and talk to Chief Red Cloud, okay? Because he's going to help you, all right? I hope that helps. Thanks for writing. Blessings to you. All right, our next letter is from David Kublin. Hello, David. Good to see you. Kublin. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is it Kublin or Kublin? Or Kublin? Forgive me, I don't mean to butcher your name. I'm going to say Kublin. That's what it looks like to me. And David writes, and he says, Dear Psychic Bob, what does the future hold for me? Hey, David. Well, let me tell you, you know, it's nice when I step into your light, I'm getting a flashing like white light. Do you remember in the old days when we had cameras with flashes on them? I don't know if people can do that. Do cell phones flash anymore? Even they used to flash. I don't think they do. But anyways, camera flashes, bright flashing. This means that you're getting a new start. This is kind of rediscovering yourself. It's about launching in a new path. And I really love the light I get around you. I get a lot of orange light here around you. I also get a lot of blues and purples and silvers. And what this tells me is that you have gifts of communication You're also a very artistic person. And I think that what you're going to see here over the next, I would say about 6 months here, are doorways of opportunity opening around you that's going to allow you to express an artistic theme. I feel that this artist theme is very much communications based. It's interesting because I keep feeling like you're sitting in front of a microphone here, and it's like you're talking. And I don't know if you've ever done radio work or broadcasting work, but I tell you, I just pick up this natural gift. It's very strong around you for communication. And I feel like if you were to, put yourself in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, it's like people would just go to you. I mean, I think you're really gifted. I think you're very talented. I hear music in the background. So I don't know if you're doing anything with that as well, but that may also come part of this next 6 months. Could even be like being a singer, interestingly, because I feel like this vocal quality that you have, and it's ironic, I've never actually heard you speak, but I just hear it psychically around you. And I feel like I'm going to say, David, open your voice, speak, write, communicate, be on the stage, be seen. This is what's going to launch a new career path for you. And I really feel this next 6 months, you would be definitely actually I see multiple gigs around you. Like you might be, for example, an MC at a club, introducing, performers. And then I see another one where you're actually being a performer on a stage. And I also get writing around you. I get talk shows. I think you really want to jump into the media world. And you might say, Bob, are you crazy? Yeah, I might be crazy, but I'm also right. So I want you to risk that. Put yourself out there, see and be seen. I think this is going to open a lot of doors for you. I really feel like the next 6 months, it's literally like David Kublin's coming back to life. And I say that in a good way, and I don't mean to sound negative, but I feel like when I go back over this last year, there's been a lot of holding. It's like your life has been just waiting. And now you're busting out. So go for it. Be open to change. Focus on media. Okay? Hope that helps a little bit. Thanks for writing. All right. Our next letter is from Rajkovic. Hello, Rajkovic. Rajkovic says, hey, Bob. I recently have had doubts that God or the afterlife exist. Over the past few months, I've been drawn to science and feel I have a calling to give humanity its next step in evolution. I can't tell if it's my spirit guides or my own human expression of curiosity, wanting to advance our species. Hope you can answer these questions, Rajkovic. Rajkovic, I have to tell you, I like your question. You know why I like it? Because it's steeped in honesty and it's steeped in integrity. Now, there are some people, who would go, oh my God, Rajkovic becoming an atheist, this is horrible. But see, when I look at the soul journey, my thing as a psychic, I said, what is the energy around this person? Are they being hostile and hateful? Or are they questing for the truth and the highest and the best? See, I would never be classified as an atheist, of course, everybody knows me. But I have met a number of atheists, and I'll tell you, there are different types of atheists. There are atheists who simply can't believe because they don't have empirical evidence. And they're not wishing to be hostile towards anybody who believes. They just simply don't know. And then there are the atheists who are militant, who want to not only not believe, but destroy anybody of faith. I don't feel that you're going that path. I don't feel you're going the path of destruction. And I feel like you're questioning about, is God real? Is there an afterlife? Is your logical mind? You see, there are two minds. There's the logical mind, and then there's intuitive mind. And in our Western culture, we are so taught to use the logical mind that most of us, by the time we get out of, elementary school, have pretty much shut down the intuitive side. And so this is why atheism is really big in the West, because there is, if I may be honest, an imbalance in the educational process. Now, I'm not against the logical mind, but I would say with you that what's happening is I feel that you've always in a sense, worked in both of the minds. And it's kind of like, what is your focus? Right now, you want to be in the logical mind. And so you feel the intuitive mind, in a sense, not really being connected. And, I say, well, there's a place for both of them. And so it does not have to be a conflict. And when you say, I just don't know that I can believe, and I don't even know if there's an afterlife, I would say, allow yourself to sit with that. It's okay not to know, and it's okay to have doubt. I think what is really dangerous, and speaking in favor of the atheist side, because I've met a number of atheists who've argued with me, and they've said, well, your spiritual teachings, your religion, that just gets in people's head and it distracts them from focusing on the here and now. And I have to agree, in some cases, spiritual life becomes so obsessive for some people that they lose their mind, they become crazy. And so I think that there's a balance that all of us have, or should have, between the logical mind and the intuitive mind. And so the fact that you're not feeling that connection really just means that your logical mind is getting predominance right now. I suspect, Rajkovic, that in the coming years, you will probably swing back again to the intuitive mind. And throughout your life, I believe you're going to be somebody who works in both minds. I would caution you to try to, in a sense, keep an open mind about spiritual things. People say, well, if it's real, if God's real, prove it. If you can talk to them, prove it. Proof in the spiritual world is hard to give anybody. And for those people who are, angry at psyche and say we have to prove everything, even when we give them evidence, many of them don't accept it. So I don't feel like getting into a contest to try to win you or prove to you anything. I just simply say, live your life and just consider that it could be a possibility. I believe that the spirit world, when it wants to reveal itself to somebody, will do it against all odds. And so don't force yourself to see or feel something that you're just not feeling. I believe that many people come to Earth with missions that they have to predominate in the logical mind if they're going to succeed in their life mission. I do believe you have a very strong scientific mission ahead of you. You have a lot of yellow around you. I pick up yellow halo, which means high intellect, very strong mental processes. And so by honoring your ability to explore science, I believe that you're doing your mission. Sometimes when we have a life mission or a theme that we're working on, we don't even realize it sometimes. And if somebody told us to us, we'd be the last to believe it or agree. I'll give you an example of this. When I was a young psychic, I was in the spiritualist church. And for me, in my younger years, scientific or spiritualist work, scientific, what was scientific in a way? Spiritual work was more of a hobby. It was not, in my mind, going to be my life's work. And my teacher always said, I'm going to be tough on you because in the future, she said, you're going to be a well-known psychic. You're going to have to read for people all day long and keep your focus and accuracy. And I said, what? No, I don't. Not me. But the truth is that I actually did have a psychic theme. I just hadn't awoken to it. Now, everybody else around me knew it. And all said, Bob, you're going to be a great psychic. And I kept saying, what? Me? No. It's fun, but I'm not going to make it a life job, life career, life path. But you see, they saw in me that which I didn't know and was blind to. So I feel like, for example, the reason I'm telling you this is that your scientific mission is actually a life theme. And it doesn't really matter whether it comes from your guides or it comes from your own mind. I read a really good book. It was a book on channeling, and I don't have it here at my table right now, but I'll have to show it in another video. But there's a chapter in this book on channeling where the author is questioned by a scientist, and the scientist says, well, is this channeling really another entity that's speaking to you, or is it your own mind, your subconscious mind? You don't even realize it. And the author of this book said, well, you know, I don't really know. And I can't really prove it one way or the other. And really, it doesn't matter. Because the fact is, either way, you have a miracle. So, for example, if channeling and psychic phenomena is just simply a natural product of the mind and there is no spiritual world, what that says is that the human mind is pretty amazing and can do fascinating things. Like, for example, when I sit here and I do readings for people I don't even know, I tell them things like, you're going to go here, this is going to happen. And I've never seen them, met them, know them, and the things I tell them come to pass with direct accuracy. And some of you listening, you know I've given you readings that have been right to the T. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm saying, like, if that's just my own mind and there is no spirit world guiding that, then that's pretty amazing. But on the other hand, as this author says in this channeling book, it says, well, if at the other opposite end is true, that there is a spiritual world, and that it's talking to us, isn't that a miracle that there are beings in other dimensions who love us and guide us on the way, so we're never really alone? So this author said to the interviewer, basically, pick your miracle. Either way, it's pretty cool. And so that's what I want to say to you. You know, you don't have to figure it all out. You know, I would like to say, though, that do not believe that to be intelligent, you must renounce spiritual truth also, because there was a big push among the atheists to say, well, if you're going to be advanced, you need to get rid of spiritual truth. And, you know, the truth is, history shows that some of the greatest spiritual minds were believers in higher power. Einstein was an amazing scientist, and he said that every time he studied physics and the universe, he saw the mind of God, like in front of him, and the equations and how all the order of the universe. And he made him a believer. And so I want to say to you, study your science, embrace it, find it, love it, and see if it leads you to God. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But either way, as the author of that book I was talking about said, pick your miracle. It's amazing either way. So I wanted you just to be open to following your path. I do believe that you're here to help humanity. And I do believe that your mind is seeking knowledge and receiving information. And I would say to you, you know, when you have trouble, ask the higher power simply to reveal itself. Say, you know what? I'm going to do my work. I'm going to work for science. And if you want to reveal yourself, I'm open to it. I'm going to be open to that, you know. So don't worry, you're not in a bad place. I feel like your energy is not hateful. I don't feel you're rejecting God. You know, like there are going to be some religious fanatics, as we all know, they're out there. And they'll say anybody who doesn't believe just ABC, they're going to hell. Don't buy into that either. That's the other extreme, you know. There are extremes in both camps, the spiritual camp and the atheist camp. And I believe in the teachings of the Buddha. And the Buddha said simply, follow the middle way. In fact, I would encourage you to do some reading on Buddhism. The reason why I say that is that Buddhism, it's very interesting, does not deal with the issue of God. They deal with what is real, what is now. But in that process, you may discover a profound spiritual reality. People ask the Dalai Lama, and they asked Buddha first. And they asked Buddha, and they said, you know, is there a God? We need to know. And Buddha said, that's irrelevant to the discussion. We need to deal with what you're doing right now. See, the Buddha had a way of just saying, this is what's on the table. We have to deal with your anger. We have to deal with your destructive nature, your self-destructive or otherworldly destructive natures. The Buddha wanted to get to the core of what was causing suffering. In that process, he discovered compassion. And that's a spiritual gift. And so you might want to explore Buddhism. It's a kind of a nice place for people who may not be big on God or spirit world and yet want to understand mysteries. And I'll tell you, Buddhism, I've studied a lot of Buddhism, it gets pretty deep and metaphysical. And ultimately you'll find out, the more you study it, that it all comes back around to quantum physics. And quantum physics comes back around to the teachings of Buddhism. So there's a lot of overlap there. So don't worry, don't stress yourself up, don't stay up nights worrying about if God loves you or if there's a God or somehow bad by not believing in God. Love people. Love, I had a near-death experience. And the thing that I learned was, God didn't ask me, did I believe in him? Did I preach great words? God said, how have you loved? It all comes down to that. And so, if we're living in love, if we're trying to love each other, if we're trying to love the world around us, if we're doing our best, you can love people through science and do amazing things. And you'll be walking in the light of the divine. Whether you know it or not, doesn't really matter whether you believe. What you believe actually is irrelevant to the spirit world. Now, I don't say that to discredit religions, because I love religions. I'm a big into my Wiccan faith. But ultimately, if Wicca doesn't make me a loving person, then it's not for me. But fortunately, Wicca's helped me to learn to love. And so I'm very thankful for that. But I encourage you, you might want to explore Buddhism, something to think about. Study Einstein. You'll understand his mystic views. Anyways, I hope that gives you a little insight. This is a really good question, and I hope this has helped you some today. All right. Thanks for writing. Keep me posted, okay? Well, Tubies, my gosh, I don't know where the time goes. I am so glad you're here. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow is Thursday, and that's a Vlog Thursday, so we'll have some fun little adventure. So make sure to be back here. I love you guys. Sending my blessings. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. We'll be back here. We always have more coming. For you new people, we do a video every day, so definitely check in. If you want to help me out, like this, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of our channel. All right, guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow for Vlog Thursday, and until then, may you always blessed be.